Yeah, brother. So the Guyanese Critic is coming to you from an area called PARIKA BACKDAM that is seeing GPL doing some maintenance work here. And we are going to talk to Mr. Harbourjohn. I never pronounced the name correctly. I called the man name correctly. But one of the senior people down at GPL is going to tell us what is going on. But GPL is doing maintenance today to the network. And again, I'm coming to you from PARIKA just for you guys to get your bearings. Who from the PARIKA area? This is PARIKA BACKDAM. And them guys doing some works here. So I want to show you this and then we will move on to what's going on up in front where they are where GPL is doing some works on a transformer. Like my whole country, but the people them is getting from my nerves one time. Yeah? So let me just show you guys what GPL is doing here at this point in time. So the people in PARIKA BACKDAM can get an idea. So them banners doing something to the pole up there. That's for this specific spot. They're doing some works on the pole here. And this is the primary network lines coming in, and then it break down and get into the households. So we go to the front and we can talk to GPL senior management who will explain to us what is really going on, what exactly they're doing in this area. Obviously there would have been a scheduled maintenance notice, and that's why you have to follow the Guyanese Critic page to see when, what areas GPL will be working in, and you could in tune prepare yourself for these scheduled maintenance. Most of the times they cover a 6 to 4 hour period, and the intention is to ensure that you have an effective electricity supply. And the scheduled maintenance, GPL could tell you, well, we're going to turn off the light, we're going to turn off the power to the area for this time to this time, and afford you the opportunity that you know it's going to happen, right? Because it's scheduled maintenance compared to the system having a problem and then just shutting down just like that, or something blowing or something breaking or some wire busting, right? They maintain now, they got constant maintenance being done. Yeah, now is a bad time, buddy. Now is a bad time. So let me go in the corner here and we're gonna talk to GPL senior staff and get an explanation as to what exactly is going on here. So we got Miss Siobhan Sears directing, she's doing a double task today. She's directing traffic and doing PR too. Yes, Chief. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thanks once again for facilitating me and the viewers. Just give us an update, sir, as to what exactly GPL has been doing here today.
Alright, today's activity is removing all the encompassings to the line. That is the old poles, any vegetation that is like tree limbs getting in close contact with the line. Today they're doing that. You will notice we have two teams working on this part of the circuit where they're going up, cut the pole as away from the primary line. So right now the team is up there. If you can cut the old pole from which is away from the primary line, and that will now, you see where the rainfall, the pole tends to shift, especially when you have no line hardware connected. It tends to move. So you want to make sure you clear the line of all the old poles, because you can get in contact with the line and the line will trip.
And with this this kind of maintenance in this area, the customers in this area could expect a reliable, prompt, more efficient service.
Definitely.
Okay.
See, by doing this is like improving the health of the network. And by improving the health of the network, it becomes more reliable. And you want to eliminate all threats on the line, so we can deal with all other issues, major issues, where you may have insulator breakdown, you want to replace those. So the first thing we are doing at this time is to improve the health by removing all threats. Because, like I explained, with the wind, you get heavy wind, the tree branch coming close, with the rainfall, the pole would move. You want to get rid of those things out of the way.
And a lot of times the effects of these kind of things has adverse effects on other parts of the network if you have a feedback in the system and these kind of things.
Exactly, because this might be a major spore. So you may have a fuse, which we call our rural cutout fuse, will be protecting the spore. But if you get something like an odd fault, for example, the fuse may not be able to rupture to see that as a major issue. So the fault might end up back going directly to the main source, so the breaker, and it will trip the entire feeder. So instead of where you might have a fault that can need it to be isolated, just affect a few customers, you might end up affecting the whole area.
All right,
so
Chief.
That is what we are trying to. So by eliminating those threats which causes the odd fault, only when there is like a genuine fault, like line to line come in contact with line, the spore fuse can come into effect.
I know there have been a number of scheduled maintenances on the West Coast and the West Bank areas. When can the customers expect to see less of this and more of just a free flow of service?
So the plan is we coming into the May-June, which is a heavy rain season. So normally GPL would have their maintenance plan catered based on the weather pattern. So because in May-June when there's heavy rain, you don't want to do maintenance around that. So we're preparing the network for that. The first couple of months in the year, we will focusing on the backbone line. Those are the main feeders. Then you have the spore going into the community. Once we complete the main line, all the maintenance is when you're doing work on the main line, is then it will affect most customers. Then we'll start working on the spore, which just deal with a community. Like when, for example, if you deal with a spore in Tuition, for example, just the Tuition area will be out. So it's like a branch circuit. So by the end of this month, we are expecting to complete all the mainline work. And that is, you have like 2 feeders from Edinburgh to PARIKA, 1 stop at Tuition, and then we have another feeder going from Edinburgh to Bradenhoop, and then we have 2 other feeders from Bradenhoop to Friesland. We are expecting to complete all those feeder work by the end of this month. This is for the West Bank and West Coast. And then moving into April, we are going to work on the branch circuits. So we're hoping by the end of May, or let's say by the mid of May, we'll be ready for this half of the year.
Okay, and customers will be seeing less of scheduled maintenance.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, sir. You would have heard from one of the senior managers at GPL as to what's going on, how it's going on, just for you, the customer, to have a better understanding of what GPL is doing for you. And in tune, you would have heard Ms. Sears talk earlier about the need for you as the customer to deliver to GPL what is due to GPL. All of this you're seeing, every time you see this, there's a cost attached to this. There are people working, there are trucks working. There's a cost attached to all that GPL is doing. And that cost is covered by your paying your electricity bill. So that is an important part of you, the citizen, playing your role. And you see the guy, this is what it's called the cross beam, right? You see they got a lot of them to change is the cross beam, this be on the top there. So just for your knowledge and peace of mind, the Guyanese Critic is goes across Guyana to show you what GPL is doing, when it is doing it, and why it is doing it. The Guyanese Critic and GPL on the move.